Hey, what's going on everyone? We got my 2007 Mustang GT with the infamous water leak issue into the passenger floorboard footwell area. Basically, as you guys should know, water pretty much pools up from the inside, comes down here, usually pulls up in this area, and that area. And what we have right here is the TSB that addresses the issue. The 08-26-7 tells you to do a couple things. Tells you to replace the old cowl grommets, tells you to put seam sealer there, and if we look under the hood, we have done exactly that. We have brand new grommets that have not only been heat cured into place. Once they were cured into place, I put seam sealer around, and the reason why I did that is because I actually replaced these a couple years ago in 2014. I did exactly as instructed. I cured them with heat. They were pretty tight, and then when I checked them again a few weeks ago, they were kind of loose. This water, I guess, pulls down and around them and sort of broke that cure that they had there. So I put new ones in place, and I put gray seam sealer around, and this is completely tight. There's no water getting in or around those. This is the old Ford Motorcraft seam sealer here around this pinch weld as recommended in the TSP. And if we look down in there, because I know you're thinking about that too, we got that cleaned out as well. In fact, I completely took out those little drain plug things so water can freely drain down into the bottom of the car without pulling up into the bottom of the cabin air filter intake thing there. Because apparently water would fill up down there in the bottom, somehow come up 5 or 6 inches, and then go right up inside of there into the cabin. But this is never wet. This down here is never wet or even damp with any sort of moisture or water. So it's definitely not coming in through there. So my question is, if we replaced all of those grommets, completely sealed them in place, we have the old seam sealer here, it's very tight. I chucked all the way around here. I even put the seam sealer down in there on the bottom. It's kind of hard to see down there. Goes all the way up and down that line, up and through here. All these are cured properly. Where would water be coming from? Now, the only thing that I can think of is about 1.5 years ago, I had the windshield replaced. Now, I don't remember, I remember watching the Safelite guy replace the windshield. I don't remember if there's any sort of opening on the bottom of the windshield here. That's really the only thing I can think of, is that water's coming down and it's going under the windshield and it's going inside of that that channel there. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's really the only thing that I can think of. Because again, these are all replaced. Water's not coming through here, water's not coming through there. It's definitely not pulling up inside of there. And if we look at the TSB here, I know exactly where the water is coming from. Where's that page? Here it gives you sort of an illustration. Here are those grommet holes things. Again, they're up here. And this is that little channel. I know water is definitely pulling up in here, and exactly as illustrated is coming into the kick panel through here. So my question is, if we replaced all of those little grommets and we put the seam sealer, or remember those little drain plugs on the passenger and the driver's side are not only clean, I removed them, where would water be coming in from? It's definitely pulling up in here. I can definitely feel water inside of the car through this. So, any sort of suggestions or answers would be appreciated. Again, the only thing that I can think of is maybe the seal, if there's one, that goes in the bottom of the windshield has failed and it's leaking water through there. That's really the only thing that I can think of. I don't remember if there's any sort of opening or not. I thought it was just like solid There was no sort of opening. Maybe just like these things here that kind of hold the windshield up and in place. These little guys here. These are sealed up as well. I kind of took one of these off to kind of hold the windshield up. There's no water coming through this here. But under here, the seal that goes all the way around the windshield, I don't know if water is going down and under and seeping up through that. Yeah, any sort of suggestions, any sort of tips that anyone might have, because I'm kind of at a loss here. I've done all the things. There's a couple videos that say, hey, check out those drain plugs in there, make sure they're not filled up with debris. That's already done. Make sure these are replaced. There's plenty of videos on how to replace these. Trust me, I know that's been done. It's been done better than any of those videos suggest, with the added gray seam sealer here. The old seam sealer is still good, as I mentioned. And I don't know where water's coming in from. So any sort of tips, any sort of suggestions would help. And I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much.